I just tweeted about the podcast, making a "we all float on this podcast" joke, and then realized, oh, that might scare people off. They're like, oh, I haven't seen the movie yet. It just came out yesterday. Had to clarify it. We're not talking about it.
No. I probably won't be watching it until at least Redbox, but
yeah, my sister actually asked me this the other day. She says, "Are you going to go see it?" And I'm like, I don't know, maybe. I've read the book. I saw the miniseries. I know what happens. So, I mean,
yeah.
I guess I'm really the thing I'm most curious about is to see how graphic they get with Georgie's death.
Oh yeah,
because in the it's not horribly graphic in the book. He just gets his arm yanked out and
bleeds to death.
Yeah. And in the miniseries, Tim Curry just goes, "Wah!" and then it fades to commercial.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. Just in the trailers for the movie, Georgie looks like he could just slip right through the sewer or the storm drain. The sizes look that way.
It's true. If Pennywise grabs his arm and gives him a good yank, all of Georgie is going into the sewer. It's the biggest storm drain I've ever seen.
Yeah.
In the book, he grabs his arm and gives it a yank and pulls it right out of his shoulder, which is why one-armed Georgie lays there bleeding.
Yeah.
I think I read this book when I was really young, so
that's my understanding. I've only ever seen the miniseries, so I haven't read the book. I tried reading Stephen King before, and he just bores the crap out of me. So
he can be very verbose.
Well, it's like I tried reading Cujo, and I couldn't even make it through the first chapter. And
try Eyes of the Dragon. That might be my favorite King book, and it's one that no one ever talks about except me and my mom. Like the other two people.
I did read a short story of his. I don't remember what it's called, but it's about this kid. He's in school. He needs to use the bathroom, and his teacher's a jerk and like makes fun of him when as she lets him go to the bathroom. And he gets there, and there's a tiger in the bathroom. Why, I don't know, but there is. And he's kind of afraid to go too far into the bathroom, but he really, really, really has to go. So he ends up just peeing in the sink closest to the door. Mm-hmm. And his teacher catches him, and he's like, I had to because there's a tiger in there, and she's just like, no, there isn't, you liar, you're just a filthy liar. And he's like, honestly, and she's like, I'll prove to you. And she goes in there, and then the kid hears the tiger attack her, and he just kind of meanders back to class and sits down, and that's the story. Yeah, he's just like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah. The last thing I'll say about it, and I posted this on Twitter the other day or week or something, is and I have not seen the movie yet. I'm just comparing what I've seen of the new flick in the trailers and the the miniseries from 1990 or whatever it was. And a lot of people are comparing Tim Curry Pennywise and Bill Skarsgård Pennywise. My thoughts, having not seen the new movie, the most I've seen of Pennywise is the scene with Georgie. The studio released that full clip, minus when Georgie gets yanked into the sewer. He just says, here's your boat, and Georgie reaches for it, and that's the end of the clip. So don't know how far they go or how it's depicted, or if maybe he gets his head ripped off or his foot ripped off this time. Who knows? You see, in the book it was the arm. In the movie it's his right leg. Haha, different. No. Anyway, so people are probably going to debate old versus new. Till Kingdom Come. My thoughts, again, based solely on the very little I've seen of the new movie, is I don't buy for a second that Georgie would go anywhere near the new Pennywise. See, the Tim Curry Pennywise was friendly and personable and funny. The new one is full-time scary all the time.
Yeah.
Tim Curry, I could imagine luring a kid close enough to grab him and yank him into the sewer. This new one? No. No. Georgie would be like, yeah, bye. So.
Well, there were some people talking in various comments and forums and stuff. They said that in the book he's depicted more as a scary looking clown, but it's just his mesmerizing gaze that allows him to lure people in. But I don't know.
Yeah,
that's just something that
one version is better than the other. That's just my impression I get from having seen everything except the ending of that one scene. I was watching him going like, I appreciate how damn creepy and genuinely unsettling it is, but I don't buy for a moment that Georgie is going to talk to this guy, let alone reach his damn arm down there. I mean, Tim Curry, while there's certainly something off about him, not the least of which is there's a clown in the sewer, he's still fun and personal. He's like, "Hiya, Georgie. I'm Pennywise, the dancing clown, and you're Georgie." He's disarming in that way. This new one is
disarming. I love that.
I wish that was intentional because that was good. But this new one is just full creep all the time. I mean, he's constantly has his head lowered and his eyes tilted up, and he's like, "Hi, Georgie. I'm Pennywise, the dancing clown." And it's like, "Here, take it." It's like, no, you can keep the newspaper, but I'm out of here. There is no way in hell a 6-year-old or however old Georgie is reaching his arm towards that thing. No. Movie ruined. It's completely, this trans-dimensional clown monster is not believable. Movie's ruined.
Yeah. Well, the last thing I'll say about the It is that apparently people are going around with red balloons and tying them to storm drains in various cities. It happened in my town where I live. There was a news article they posted, and it happened like right outside of the old neighborhood I lived in. And I saw that news article and I said, that is absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, so. Now people dressing up as scary clowns and actually chasing people with chainsaws or sledgehammers, someone's going to get hurt. Don't do that.
Yeah.
If you're going to stage the entire thing and make a YouTube video out of it, yeah, cool, fine. But don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Someone's going to get shot, But tying a red balloon on stuff, that's fun, viral marketing. Dumping 1 million red balloons into the Chicago Bay, Rockstar. That was Rockstar, wasn't it?
I don't remember who that was.
Maybe it was THQ with Homefront or something.
I don't know.
Someone had a man. There have been a lot of dumb video game promotion stunts. It was Rockstar, I think. No, it wasn't Rockstar. Who did the Mafia game and then sent brass knuckles to everybody?
That was EA, or
was
that was
EA?
EA for the Mafia Wars.
It was either
or not Mafia Wars.
That was just Mafia 2 or Mafia 3 or something. So
I don't. Nothing is coming up in a quick Google search for game company dumps balloons in river or lake or whatever.
Well, actually, I think it released a bunch of balloons and then they just floated down and landed in the lake. And I think they were fined $1 million or something to clean it up. So
okay, Homefront. Yeah, it was a Homefront.
Oh, it was Homefront. Okay, I was right.
Okay, changing dumps to releases. Pulled up the Kotaku articles from December of 2011 for Homefront.
Yeah. Right. So I suppose we should actually start the show officially. So don't worry.
Yeah, we're 9 minutes past.
Yeah, I'll keep all this stuff in the edit. Don't worry about that. But you ready on the stopwatch?
Yeah, I've got that ready.
Okay, here we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Molehill Mountain, episode 65. Andrew Eisen here, along with E. Zachary Knight.
Hello, Andrew. Hello, everybody out there.
Yes, hello, hello. We kind of got to chatting and forgot to officially start the show.
Yeah,
But
that's okay. It was a good conversation about
yeah,
it and
talking about a
scary
movie that
clowns.
neither of us have seen. But apparently my sister has seen it,
Okay.
so that's good. Yet, is it any good? Was it good?
Yeah.
Let us know in the chat. No spoilers. Except there's a book and there's a miniseries. I think even just through cultural osmosis, I think most people know the general story of it. You know,
Well, I think
I don't
you get
think
the
it's
general
that
story
surprising.
from the trailer. I think what might not be general knowledge is the part of the story that takes place when all the kids are grown up. I think that
Mm,
might be a little less,
I,
less
yeah,
known than
I suppose
the
the kid
kid
stuff
part.
probably is more compelling than the adult stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. My sister says I'm freaked out because I am afraid of clowns, as you well know. Now imagine if it was, yeah, talk about something fun so I can sleep tonight.
Yeah.
Well, I was about to. The other thing my sister doesn't like is cannibal stuff, but I guess it doesn't technically count as a cannibal clown because Pennywise is not a human eating other people. It's a
Yeah.
trans-dimensional monster.
Yeah.
What are the old gods? Oh, and Jigsaw comes out October 27th, which means we can go see it. Yay! My sister's coming out here for the Extra Life charity event, which is the first weekend in November. So she'll be out here for that, and we're going to go see Jigsaw at some point because we both like the Saw movies.
You should go watch the movie during the marathon and play like your 3DS during the movie and tick everybody off.
It's like, nah, unrealistic. So I think we can cover a couple interesting things. Google seems to be doing everything it can to tick us off this week.
Yeah.
Go ahead with what Google's doing because this is kind of relevant to both
Yeah,
of
this
us
this is
and the show.
relevant to the podcast specifically, but so I run Google AdSense ads on randomtower.com as well as most of my other sites as well. And last week, I forget exactly what day last week, but last week I got an email from Google that said that Random Tower was in violation of their policy, their policies, and they disabled ads. And I'm like, okay. And I went to their policy center in my AdSense account, and there was nothing there, and ads are still being served. And over the course of this week, I've learned that Google's emails are like 2 hours ahead of their policy center in my account. So it's like when I get an email, I have to wait like 2 hours before anything gets updated in the policy center. But so I when I finally got to see what was the problem, they said that my violation is copyrighted material colon unauthorized file sharing, and the thing that was in violation was my entire site. That's all I got. They didn't tell me anything about what was actually the problem. I tried sending a couple of there's no way to actually talk to a human. Apparently, I have to make at least $100 a week for several months before they even let me talk to a human for any reason whatsoever, and that ticks me off. But so I tried to do my best to wring some information out of this Google bot using 120 characters. That's all I get to explain myself is 120 characters, and try to get something out of them. But every time I sent every time I sent a request for a review, they would send it back and say, nope, you're still in violation. And so I thought to myself, okay, well, maybe my the video that I did with the Justice League and Jurassic Park mashup was the problem, because I noticed after I got this, I was like, huh, I wonder about this video. And so I went to YouTube, And I had no notifications or anything about this video. But when I actually went into the creator studio and looked at the video, I noticed that Warner Brothers had content ID'd the video and took over advertising. And that's something that ticks me off too, is like, I didn't get any notification whatsoever that a video had been content ID'd, claimed, and that ticks me off. You know, you should get an email or some notification in YouTube that lets you know that this happened so that you can fix these things. So I was like, okay. So I moved that video under the fold, so you have to click into the article to view the video. That didn't fix the problem. So I just took that article completely off, put it in draft mode. That didn't fix the problem. And so eventually I got kind of ticked off, and I just kept I sent like 2 or 3 things to them and said, hey, there's no file sharing on my site. Give me a specific article, a specific link, a specific file, something specific that would indicate there's file sharing going on in my site. No, I don't get anything. They just say my entire site is in violation. And so after discussing on Facebook and in their Google Help Center or whatever it is, I decided to unpublish every single podcast article on the site and resubmit a request earlier today, and that fixed the problem. That ticked me off. Because one, everything in those podcasts are our creation, our content, or public domain.
Copyright. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the podcasts are our copyright. The MP3s are our copyright. The only thing that isn't our copyright is the public domain music that we use for our theme song, and that's public domain. You cannot unauthorized file share a public domain song. And so, yeah, we're going to try something different. We're going to not link directly to the MP3 of the podcast and see if that fixes, see if that doesn't get flagged by Google. But I don't think there's a way for me to request another review after that. I don't know. So we'll just have to see, you know, and then I'll be going through the articles and removing the MP3 links and republishing them. But yeah, I'm kind of annoyed. And
yeah, that's irritating. And Matthew says, in Google's defense, AdSense serves tens of thousands of small sites. It would not be profitable to let them speak to people. I would say that's the reason they do. I wouldn't say that's a defense. I'd say that's the reason they do things the way they do it. And if their automated systems weren't continually crap, then it wouldn't be as big of a problem. But
yeah,
it really
if I could get some information that could help me figure out exactly what the problem was, I wouldn't have cared if it was an automated system or not. It's the fact that I couldn't get any useful information out of this automated system.
Yeah, it should report the specific thing that's being flagged.
Yeah.
Which leads me to the problems I'm having with YouTube, which is owned by Google, this week. And on top of, I've been very foul-mouthed and uppity on Twitter all week because Google's been really making me angry. So I think I've dropped more F-bombs in the last week than probably the last year, at least on social media. And I do apologize for that. It's immature, but gosh darn it, I'm angry. YouTube rolled out a new layout last week, I think, and it is uniformly terrible in every single change they've made.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Every single change is either making something worse or removing a useful feature. For example, on the front page where it has recommended videos, I used to be able to see 4 rows of videos. Now I can see 3.5. That's less content. Now I have to scroll. That's objectively worse because now I can see less information. on the left side, I think this might be because I'm a creator, but I have a whole sidebar full of menu things. The spacing they put in there means to get to the stuff on the bottom, I have to scroll it now instead of everything just being on the page.
Yeah.
Also, they're using some type of frame thing, and it doesn't update correctly because if you are playing in one window and move over, it takes a bit of clicking before it'll get into the correct window to start scrolling the other window. You used to be able to hover the cursor over, on recommended videos or any of the videos, you'll see the video, the name of the video, the channel, and I think the video view count. You used to be able to hover the cursor over the channel, and that would bring up that channel's about dialogue. So you could see who the heck that was and get an idea of if they're a popular channel, what they had. You can tell a lot about a channel by its about page, especially if it's someone you really don't ever want to hear from, and so you can block it. That's gone now. Now you have to click on the channel, go to their about page, and read it. It's 2 extra clicks. That is measurably worse. On my actual video page, I used to have access to all of the different editing tools. Now I just have one big edit button, which means that if I want to go and do the end screen stuff or subtitles or anything, I have to click edit and then click on cards or whatever I'm going to, instead of just clicking on the one thing.
Yeah, I haven't noticed
I
that.
want. I mean, there's one like the show more button is now on the left side instead of the right. Okay, fine, whatever.
Yeah.
I just have to look for it now. That one I don't care, but just every change is measurably worse. But what really got my goat this week is that YouTube's introduced a new thing where it limits or prevents monetization of videos for, let me see what the wording is here. Not suitable for all advertisers. Yeah, limited or no ads. So I'm not sure if there's really no explanation on, well, is it limited or is it no ads? That's a really important distinction.
Yeah.
Like, limited means you have controversial content that only a select number, like the sister reacts to brother masturbating video. I could see why that might limit your pool of advertisers. I don't think Frisky's cat food wants to advertise on that one. But I think they've now put limited or no ad status on over 24 of my videos. I got no notifications. I just happened to notice the label in my video manager. So what the hell is this now? It does not tell you what it has a problem with. Several episodes of Molehill Mountain are flagged. A couple of my debut review videos are flagged. Sometimes I get the sense that it might be. I don't even know. For instance, the first one I see here is my sister and I watched the Senran Kagura Shinobi Raffle preview. I don't know exactly what the problem with that one is. I mean, the content is fine. It's about a girl you punch in the thigh.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else do we have in here? But here's kind of the galling thing, is you can request a manual review. Oh, here, debut review, Arrow Manga Sensei. Boobs are like jiggly pudding. I'm guessing the words boobs got flagged, maybe. The performing video game surgery while blindfolded by my own underwear is flagged. I guess underwear. All the month of masturbation videos, which are reviews of movies that have sexual content in them. Here's an episode of Super Podcast Action Committee. Here's me doing a video game playthrough of a game called Second Sight. What? There's here a bunch of playthroughs from Freedom Fighter, there's no indication of what the actual problem is. So you can request a review, but Google will only actually review videos that get 1,000 views within the past 7 days. So if your video, not just 1,000 views total, 1,000 views in 7 days, in the past 7 days. It's like, that makes it pretty much impossible for my level and lower, and even people who are more popular than me. I don't get 1,000 views on most of my videos, period. So.
Yeah, that is ridiculous. It's, and that's what really ticks me off. And honestly, I'm at the point where with Google AdSense, I want to find a better ad solution. I do have a Project Wonderful Project Wonderful ad space on my site, but I don't get enough hits on it to really to get anybody in to bid on that ad space. If I were to write at least an article a week, I might be able to get a couple of cents a day. But I would really need to write more often in order to make that one profitable. But it's just I haven't done a lot of research into advertising outside of Google AdSense, just because it was easy to set up. But yeah, YouTube, that's another thing. It's, you've got Vimeo, I think, is really the best alternative right now. But I don't know a lot about working with Vimeo and how they handle advertising and all that. So, and then the fact that Vimeo is still not, it's nowhere near the traffic that Google gets or that YouTube gets. So
yeah, I make videos so people can watch them. I mean, as long as Google, I mean, this is annoying. I'm not doing it to make a living. I'm doing it for fun and so people can see them and enjoy them. So I'm going to put them wherever people can see them. But as long as they're not taking my videos down, it's not that big a deal for me personally, again, because I'm not making a living doing this. But what little money I am making through YouTube ad revenue, probably going to make less now.
Probably, yeah.
And the problem is there's no real good way to plan around this, because I don't know what the problem is. So when I make a new video, I have no idea if it's going to get not necessarily demonetized, but limited or no.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when you want to buy a used game on Amazon and it says may or may not include the case and manual. Like, no, it either does or it does not. Because if it does not, I'm not buying it. Don't give me this or stuff. Born Distracted says, do people get flagged only if they're making money from YouTube? Yeah, it's only if you're actually monetizing your videos. If you're not monetizing your videos, then there's no ads on them anyway. So, and
Matthew says that Vimeo doesn't do gaming content. Okay.
Not a lot of it. All right. Well, we should strike while the iron is hot. Also says Google's clearly trying to squeeze out smaller channels to reduce costs. Maybe. I don't see smaller channels though aren't making money, so it's not like they're. I mean, I made almost $30 last month, but typically I make like $7 to $12 a month. People like me aren't going to pack up and leave and free up their space. We're just going to complain. We're still going to use it. Now, if I were making a living and could no longer make a living, yeah, I'd leave. So I don't see that as an effective strategy if they're trying to convince people like me to take my business elsewhere. It doesn't seem very sensible, because YouTube is where I can reach the most people, because most people watch YouTube. So that's where I'm going to be, where people can enjoy my stuff. So, but anyway, with that negativity out of the way, let us move to a different topic. And that topic is my extraordinary patience has paid off. I found myself musing earlier this week about Resident Evil 7, which came out, I think, in January. And I got a PS4 in January. But I did not get Resident Evil 7, despite the fact that I'm a very big fan of the series.
Yeah.
Not because I thought it would be on the Switch or anything. Tis not. But because it was announced with DLC and Season Pass and all these extra episodes, and I said, you know what? I'll wait a year, because you know Capcom is going to release the Gold Edition for $40 with all the DLC included. So, you know what? I've got a massive backlog. I just bought, at that time, Yakuza 0, so I'm good for a while. Well, earlier this week, Capcom announced Resident Evil 7 Gold, which includes all the DLC and comes out December 12th. So not quite a year. So that's nice. I said, great. You're selling the, they didn't say what price, but I would guess probably $40. It's typically what they do with Game of the Year type releases. Yeah. So now that Capcom is releasing the entire game for a reasonable price, now I might actually buy that. Interestingly, I was also thinking about an older game, L.A. Noire, which came out for the PS3 and 360 back in like 2011 or something like that. Yeah. And it's a detective adventure game. I think Mark Brown, a YouTuber who does a video game toolbox on YouTube, talked about it earlier this week. And I said, you know what? It's in my shopping list, and I keep thinking about buying it, but it's also another game that has exclusive DLC episodes. And I thought, yeah, I don't know. Maybe someday they'll actually release a complete version. Well, Rockstar actually announced L.A. Noire Deluxe Edition, which includes all of the DLC, plus the PS4 and Xbox One games will have 1080p and 4K for the PlayStation 4 Pro. Let's see, includes complete original game and all additional downloadable content, plus new collectibles and detective suits to unlock, each with special abilities, and an array of technical and graphical enhancements for a more realistic Los Angeles. So, you know, a better looking game. It's also coming to the Nintendo Switch. Doesn't have the graphical updates, but does include the original game and all the downloadable content, but does feature new enhancements specifically for the Switch, such as Joy-Con HD rumble stuff, gesture-based controls, and contextual touchscreen controls for portable detective work. So I guess if you want to play it in handheld mode. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm very happy about this, because these are all games I've wanted to play, and they are games that I've deliberately been holding off on, hoping to see a complete version released sometime down the road. Now, L.A. Noire took like 6 years. Yeah. But so I'm very happy to see this. What about you, Zach? Are these games you'd ever want to play?
I don't know. Maybe. I'm not a huge Rockstar fan, so I don't, you know, I'm probably not going to ever play that one. But I don't play a whole lot of games these days anyway, so even if I did buy them, they'd probably just sit on my shelf for like 3 years before I even pick them up. But I do like it when games finally get those complete copies, like you know, with everything in them. One specific example, but where I didn't go that route, was with Uncharted 3. Because when I bought Uncharted 3, I was looking at it, and it was $20 for vanilla Uncharted, but $40 for the Game of the Year edition that had all the downloadable content. And I looked at it. I'm like, okay. So I looked to see what all came with the $40 version, the Game of the Year edition, and it's like all the content that it listed was all multiplayer stuff. You know, multiplayer maps and multiplayer this and multiplayer that. And I said, I don't play multiplayer. Screw that. So I got the $20 version, which just had the story game, and that's all I cared about. So, but but there are certain games where I will get that, like Mass Effect. I definitely want to get the trilogy pack and not the individual games, because the trilogy pack has everything in it. So that's something specific that I'm looking for, or looking to get eventually. But yeah.
Codename says, I hope Rockstar ports Bully one day, considering to get the Wii version. It has been ported to 360, I think.
It's been released on the 360.
With some graphical upgrades. The Wii version does include a couple new classes and I think like 4 extra missions. Personally, I mean, if it was between the Wii version and the original PS2 version, I'd stick with the PS2 version. I've played them both. I actually wrote the guide for both of them. Just because it's a lot more fun, I think, playing on a regular gamepad than it is with the remote and nunchuck.
Yeah.
I mean, the extra classes and missions are nice, but I'd trade them for gamepad use. But you might want to check out the, I think it was the 360 that it was ported to, possibly the PS3 also, I'm not sure. But Bully is a great game, and I hope we see maybe a sequel, like a little Jimmy, what's-his-face, in college or something.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Yeah, Bully, I think, is probably the one Rockstar game that I really want to play.
Oh, PC, not PS3, okay.
Yeah, but the Red Dead Redemption series, or Red Dead series, I think, is another game that I would like to play, just because I like cowboy stuff. Yeah. And that's one of the few cowboy games that are out there. So definitely want to check that out.
Have you played Gun?
Still surprising. No, I haven't played that one yet.
It's dated now, but
yeah,
first time it's really good.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. It's like, cowboy games are super rare for video. They're super rare in general. Western movies. There's plenty of Western movies that I can watch, and surprisingly, they're still releasing some Westerns every now and then, mostly remakes. But video games are just so rare, and it's like, by the time one comes out, it's like, I don't have money to play it, so I just kind of let it sit. But yeah, I do want to get Gun and the Red Dead series, and I kind of consider Red Steel a cowboy game, even though it's not technically one. But
Red Steel 2 more than the first one, I believe.
Yeah,
but I actually played Red Steel 2 not too long ago, and it was fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was like the weird, very abrupt. It doesn't end. I talked about this earlier, but it's a game that doesn't end so much as it just stops. And it has the easiest final boss I think I've hit in quite a while. But
yeah.
All right, so switching topics, but still talking about Rockstar. On the subject of LA Noire Deluxe Edition, Rockstar has decided to ensure that the Switch version of LA Noire sells like crap by charging $10 more for the version of the game that's graphically inferior to the other two. So, according to Rockstar's website, the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 version are $40. The Nintendo Switch version, which again has HD rumble and touchscreen controls and motion controls, yay.
Yeah.
But none of the graphical enhancements, is $10 more.
$50.
Yeah, $50. Good job, Rockstar. You have guaranteed that it's going to sell the least on the Switch. You've just guaranteed that.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it'll do something like the developers of Rhyme did, which is another game that sells $10 more on the Switch, at least for the physical version, is bundle in a code for the soundtrack or something like that to make up the $10 difference. But I'll give you a hint. Yeah, you might say, well, physical cartridge. Yeah, it's not that much more expensive.
Well, yeah, there is an additional cost for the cartridge. The cartridges are more expensive to produce than a Blu-ray disc.
Sure, but not $10.
Yeah, but I do think that $10 upcharge for the Switch version is most likely Nintendo tacking that on, to pay for the manufacturing.
I don't know. There's only like 3 games that do that.
Yeah. Well, are those 3 games
Well, it's
lower priced?
LA Noire is an older game, but Rhyme is a newer game. It's coming out months later on the Switch.
Yeah, but it's not a full price game, though, right?
No, that's like a $60 or $70. Yeah, right. That's a $20 game. So yeah, none of them are the. I haven't seen any of them like $60 on the PS4 and Xbox One and $70 on the Switch. It's always a $30 game on the others and $40 on the Switch, or 20 on the others and 30 on the Switch.
Yeah, and I think that's probably what the issue is, but I don't know how much control Rockstar and the Rhyme developers have over that additional cost.
Publisher sets the price, so
yeah.
And it's not every game. And I've read some articles talking about the actual cost of the SD cards. It's not that much. It's more than printing a Blu-ray disc, but it's not that much. From what I understand, it doesn't matter, because when you have 2 things, and this one over here is of lesser quality and costs more than this over here, you're not going to sell any.
That's
jacking up the price to cover your SD card cost or whatever the reason is just going to bite you in the butt, because you've got a bunch of stubborn people like me who are just flat out not going to buy it, or will buy it on the. It's like, oh gee, should I pay $10 more for the lesser experience, or should I save $10 and get it and enjoy better visuals on a system that's been out for 4 years that I probably already have, and if I don't, you can get for $250 right now anyway.
Maybe the another reason that this could be is that Rockstar is hedging their bets. They figure the Switch version is going to sell fewer copies anyways. Mm-hmm. So why not make each of those copies just slightly more profitable for them, so that. But I don't know. That's just a thought that crossed my mind. But it's still a dumb thing to do.
We'd have to. I don't think that the $10 extra is going to offset the bunches of $40 that they're completely losing.
Yeah.
It's like, exactly. Oh, well, we're not going to sell, so let's jack up the price $10. Oh, well, now we're getting 0.
Yeah, so maybe at $40 they would sell 200,000 copies, but at $50 they only sell 100,000 copies. Yeah, that $10 extra is not going to offset that $400,000 loss that they.
Or as Codename Z is intimating in the chat, maybe I'm wrong, and maybe people value portability just that much. It's like, yeah, it's $10 more expensive. Yes, it's graphically inferior, but damn it, I want to play LA Noire on the go.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe I am of a very select breed who genuinely does not care about portability, and everyone else is just, dude, I would absolutely pay $10 more for a visually inferior experience if I could just play it on a park bench somewhere and not have to sit on my comfy, stupid couch and playing it on my big widescreen high-definition TV with my surround sound. That sucks, man. I want to go outside in the middle of nowhere and have to compete with the traffic driving by and the stupid kids flying their kite and the sun glaring off the screen. That's how games should be played. We all have our own individual taste.
Yeah. Do we know the price for Skyrim? Has that even come out yet? I don't remember.
It's still not out. But you can get the special edition for $30 on the PS4 or Xbox One right now. Yeah.
So I was just wondering if a price for that has been announced, but because if it costs more than $30, then I don't know what Bethesda is thinking. But I don't know yet though.
Not totally sure what Matthew means by in Japan they do. I'm guessing value portability. Sure, but here's the thing. The entire world is not Japan.
Yeah,
In
in
fact,
Japan,
Japan is a small fraction of the
yeah,
global video game economy.
yeah, in Japan, because of the small living spaces and large numbers of commuters, yeah, portability is a good thing because you know a handheld device doesn't take up as much room in your small apartment, and you can also take it on the train for your 30-45 minute commute to work. That makes sense. But I don't commute in
Yeah,
Oklahoma.
yeah,
Andrew
that's the thing.
doesn't commute.
Right, right.
Very a relatively small portion of the population of the United States, Canada, Mexico, Europe commutes, and so portability isn't that big of a deal unless you're a kid. you know I think
Now,
with kids, portability is the bigger draw, but kids aren't really going to be playing L.A. Noire or Skyrim.
right,
So
that's the thing though, is even if I lived up in San Francisco and had a 30-minute train ride to work each day, I wouldn't want to play I would probably just read a book, because I don't want a lesser experience. I don't want to sit there cramped on a train trying to hear the damn thing, trying to see it, although seeing on modern handhelds is not that hard these days.
yeah, the
I
Game
don't
Boy was
Yeah, I don't want to play Zelda or big games like that on a little screen on a cramped train for half an hour. I don't want to do that. I want to sit on my nice comfy couch and veg out in front of my big TV and play for hours. I don't want, and again, if you do, that doesn't mean you're a dumb gamer or something. I'm just explaining how I approach video games. I don't want to do that. That's not fun for me. It's one of the reasons why I didn't get all the way through Dragon Quest IX, because it's on a handheld. And as good as the game is, and it is pretty damn good, although it goes a little MMOE in my taste.
Yeah.
At the end, after about 30 hours, I was like, you know what? I just don't want to play this on the handheld. In the back of my mind, I have a cowlick. In the back of my mind, there's just spinning in the back of my mind. I wish this were on the TV. I wish this would be so much better on my television. This is an inferior experience. It's a fine game, but it could be so much better on the TV. That's just me, though. A lot of people absolutely adore portable games and adore the ability to take their games out of their house. Me, I don't even go out on my porch. My mom thinks I'm weird. She's like, I don't even open that door. The lock was broken for weeks. I didn't know. I don't go out there. Why would I? Mom's like, well, go out there and sit and read. And do what? Look at the parking lot? Well, you could read. I can read in here. I've got a comfy couch. So,
yeah.
All right, let's move one more topic, which I and my sister said I had a very nice rant. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed that rant.
It was a good rant. It's a rant worthy of chopping out of the video and making its own.
Because I think the whole image shaker I pounded on my desk here.
Yeah, it did.
So, and my sister just copped to it. She was the one who broke the door. It was pretty funny because I have a sliding glass door, and then I have the screen door behind it. There's a little plastic latch on the screen door that you just lift. It's just one plastic piece, and you it hooks the other way, but you push down on it, and it lifts up off the latch, and you can slide the door open. Well, my sister pulls up on the latch and just snaps the damn thing right off. And so it was stuck, in the closed position. We couldn't get, it's like, oh, well, we're not going to get to enjoy the 72 square feet of my patio. Oh, well. It's since been fixed. It's not a big deal, but yeah, there's that. Okay, new topic. And internet. What's interesting is I'm sure if you think long and hard, you can probably come up with something happening in the world somewhere worthy of complaining about. Some bad thing that's happening in the world that you wish were not happening. Something that, even if it doesn't genuinely affect you, is something that's pretty terrible and you wish it would stop.
Mm-hmm.
This is not one of those things.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Because I think that, you know, I think it's a personal attack on me.
Really? Is your childhood ruined? Has
Yes,
Nintendo raped your childhood?
Yes, they have.
Bad Nintendo. Okay, so here's the thing. The official Japanese website for Nintendo has a section where you can go get character profiles for various characters, including Mario and Luigi. So these are newly written character profiles, from what I understand. They're written in Japanese, so I can't read them. I've seen a couple different translations, but they basically say this. Here's a part of Mario's entry. Mario is good at sports, such as tennis and baseball, soccer, and kart racing. He's able to handle just about anything well. It seems he used to work as a plumber a long time ago. Here's part of Luigi's profile. Just like Mario, it seems Luigi used to work as a plumber. This is not news. This is not even worthy of commentary because literally nothing has changed. But the internet has decided that Nintendo has erased an important part of Mario and Luigi's past. Because if you... this was apparently even discussed on Fox News earlier this week. But I've been seeing headline after headline. Mario and Luigi no longer plumbers. Nintendo changes characters' backstory. Nintendo erases characters' back. I'm like, oh my god. Look, okay. The plumber thing, as far as I'm aware, was only ever introduced in the movie and the cartoon.
Well,
I don't think that has ever come up in any of the games.
The Mario Brothers arcade game, I think, because it took place in a sewer or whatever, I think that kind of...
Oh, right. What I'm thinking of
is
the specific origin of Brooklyn is from the movie and the... is from the movie and the
TV show,
cartoon show, Super Show. Yeah. The fact that they're plumbers was something that was a change in and of itself, because Jumpman in Donkey Kong was originally a carpenter, and then they changed that to plumber when they started Mario Brothers.
Yeah, well, and then in the cartoon show, in the live action parts, they're more of a superintendent of a building than they are plumbers. So they're all around fix-it guys, not just a plumber. So,
but here's the thing, Mario and Luigi, I've never got the sense that they're currently still employed as plumbers. They don't seem to have done actual professional plumbing for decades. Now,
I don't think
I have no doubt that Mario and Luigi could still fix your sink or unstop your toilet if they needed to, but they don't currently work as plumbers. It's not been in any of the games. So saying that they used to work as plumbers is not saying they never were plumbers. Yes, they were, and they could still fix your pipes, I'm sure. I have no earthly clue why the internet is getting so upset about this, because one, not a big deal in the first place. Two, it's not what anyone said. Nothing has changed.
Exactly. It's I don't get this kind of outrage. It's it just doesn't make sense, and for the exact same reasons that you've said. They're not changing anything. They're just saying that they don't work as plumbers anymore, and yeah, that's been pretty clear from every single game released since the original Mario Brothers. It's like, they jump into pipe.
Mario used to work as a doctor, also used to be a professional referee for boxing. That's not changing anything. He actually did.
Yeah. So, you got to wonder what kind of doctor he was, though. But
Probably
yeah,
not a very good one. He's just mixing pills willy-nilly.
yeah. So he's a modern doctor.
There you go. Yeah. Overprescribing everything.
It's like, oh, you've got half a dozen little germs in you. Well, here's 200 pills for you to swallow. It's like, okay.
Yeah. And really, I haven't seen individual anger so much as I've just seen a bunch of news outlets glomming onto this non-news. The fact that Mario and Luigi used to be plumbers is not the news. It's not Mario are no longer plumber. That's not the news. It might be news that, hey, did you happen to know that Mario and Luigi used to work as plumbers in New York? Yeah. Most of big gamers would be like, yeah. Others would be like, the guy who jumps on mushrooms? Really? Huh, okay. I mean, that could be in a interest story, but again, I haven't seen really anyone upset about it, so to speak, but I just see article after article framing it as if Nintendo has just erased part of Mario and Luigi's backstories.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's not what happened.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty crazy. That
Codename Z says some people use 3D World that they fix a pipe as an example that they are still plumbers. Again, plumber has two definitions. One is someone who is professionally employed as a plumber, and two is someone who knows how to plumb. I don't think I've never got this. May be the case. Who knows? But
know how to plumb.
Yes, they plumb your stuff. I have never got any inkling from any of the modern games that Mario and Luigi are employed as plumbers in the Mushroom Kingdom. They seem to be
required and just toilets in the Mushroom Kingdom. I don't think I've ever seen a toilet in the Mushroom Kingdom.
Look, I unstopped my toilet earlier today. That doesn't make me a professional plumber, even if I used to be. I wouldn't say, well, I am once again a plumber. No, I just unstopped my toilet. So someone brought that up to me earlier, 3D World, and I said, what about 3D World? And they never got back to me. But yeah, the very opening of the game, Bowser steals a fairy or something through a warp pipe, and Mario and Luigi smack it with a hammer until the pipe straightens out, and they follow it into the rest of the adventure. I wouldn't call that exactly plumbing, but if you hit a pipe with a hammer, you're a plumber, whatever. But again, also it doesn't say that Mario and Luigi can no longer associate with pipes or have no plumbing ability. Just as they used to. It says literally, or at least the translation says, used to work as plumbers.
Yeah.
That to me says used to actually do that for a living. So
Gas Can on Fire says the first toilet was in Mario Sunshine. I haven't played that one yet, so I missed that toilet.
I don't remember a toilet in Sunshine. I remember that damn pachinko machine.
Yeah.
Bane of everyone's existence. Yeah, Codename. I did. To get the rest of the Codename's comment in, says, but people forget that just because he used to be does not mean he forgot how to do it. That's right.
Exactly.
It's like saying I used to sing and I used to sing barbershop. That doesn't mean I don't still or can't still. It's just I'm not in a group right now and haven't been for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So it's my biography. Andrew used to, rumor has it that Andrew used to sing. That's true. Nothing's changed. That doesn't say Andrew has never sung. It just says he doesn't now so much, at least not professionally. I haven't done a paid gig in quite a while, but I still occasionally sing to myself and my annoyed cube mates at work.
And YouTube videos. And
in the Cabana level, the Shadow Stingray. Oh, yeah, okay. There's also one in Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah,
and you have to change. You have to change into a pumpkin to get flushed.
There's toilets in Final Fantasy VI, and you can actually sit on them.
I love bathrooms in video games, especially when you can wash your hands and use the toilet. It makes me happy because I use them every single time I pass them. I don't know why.
Yeah.
because it's there.
Oh.
So,
All right.
that's all the
Well, I think
topics we had.
well,
For tonight.
let's.
You got something
I
else?
think I have one more topic that we could
Okay.
probably squeeze in. Matthew mentioned this earlier in the
Mhm.
chat, and it was actually something that I just forgot about earlier today when you sent me the email.
Yeah.
But South Park, the Fractured Butthole. I love that name.
Okay.
It's funny.
Yeah.
They introduced or they announced their
It
difficulty
tickles my
slider for the
pundy
game.
bone.
They
Oh,
they uh,
that.
they
Okay.
revealed the difficulty slider for their game, and in this, if you want to play the game in easy mode, your character is a white character. If you want to play it in the most difficult mode, your character is a black character. So the more difficult the game is, the darker your skin is in the game. And apparently Cartman, when he describes it, he says that this doesn't affect battles or anything, just everything else in your life.
Yeah, from what I
it's kinda,
understand, it's not actually increasing the difficulty of the game. It's just a social observation joke saying that want to increase the difficulty, darken your skin. It's directly proportional.
Yeah. But yeah, that was just something that I saw this week, and I thought it was hilarious, and it kind of halfway makes me want to actually play a South Park game, but I don't really care for South Park in general. I've watched a few of the episodes and things, but it's not a show that really grabs me and makes me want to watch more of it. But
yeah,
yeah.
I've seen some of the classic episodes, and there's some good stuff throughout the 20 seasons that it's been on. Movie I quite enjoyed.
Yeah, I didn't watch the movie. The most memorable thing to me was like a 4-part episode where Cartman was trying to figure out who his dad was, or something like that. Cartman. But yeah, yeah, it was a weird episode. It's like Kenny died like at the end of every single one. It's like he just kind of magically.
Spoilers.
He just kind of magically respawns at the beginning of each part, and which was kind of funny. But yeah,
yeah, South Park. Back in the day, I'm talking like first pre-movie South Park. I'd watch it, and I found that I'd only enjoy like 1 out of every 6 episodes. I mean, when it hit. Not like there wasn't anything funny, but overall, I'd say only 1 in 6, and that's not a high enough ratio for me to continue watching this show. And then my sister and I actually saw the movie on a whim. It's like, hey, let's go to the movies. It's like, all right, what do you want to see? I don't know. What's planned? The South Park movie? Maybe. What the hell? And we weren't expecting anything. We went, saw it, loved it, went home, got mom, and went back to see it. And from then on, I didn't really see much South Park. And then the internet happened, and they started hosting the episodes online. So when one would come out, that would be really talked about, like the Warcraft episode or the Guitar Hero episode. For some reason, I'm thinking of all the gaming ones. I'd be like, okay, everyone's talking about this episode. I guess I have to watch it now. So,
yeah, I've done that a couple of times too. I don't remember. Honestly, I don't remember which episodes I've seen.
They all blend together. I mean, I specifically remember the World of Warcraft one and the Guitar Hero one. And I remember pieces of others, but none of them really stick in my head that well.
It didn't have quite the impact on me as a show like The Simpsons did. Like the first 9 seasons of The Simpsons or so, it's like I still remember things from those and quote them and stuff. You know, the later seasons not so much, but those first 9 seasons, they really struck a chord with me, and you know.
The Simpsons started in like 88 or 89, right? Somewhere in there.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I remember I saw the pilot, the
they're in like
episode
season 27 or something now, but
like that. I saw the pilot, the first episode. Didn't like it, so And I was like 9 years old at the time, so I was like, nah, Simpsons is stupid, and everyone was wearing Cowabunga or Don't Have a Cowman Bart Simpson t-shirts. I'm like, that show's stupid, having only seen the first episode. Since I've seen several episodes of The Simpsons, and it can be a very smart show, but honestly, it was never for me because I genuinely don't like a lot of the characters. Like, nominally Homer Simpson and Bart Simpson. I don't like them as characters, and they're not fun to follow. So it's never really been a show for me. So anyway, I'm on call, so we're going to have to wrap up the podcast here. So thank you everyone for watching, and we will be back here next week. Andrew Eisen here. Eisen is how you spell the last name. Put it into YouTube, and you can find my videos, which may have no advertising on them, which maybe is a good thing. So let's see, what have I done recently? I did the Yakuza one, which I was proud of.
Yeah, you did the Yakuza. You had a couple of debut reviews. One where you just didn't watch the show. That one was funny. I actually watched that one.
Oh yeah, the debut review for My First Girlfriend is a Gal, which is funny because I think you're not expecting that because the episode's like 7 minutes long. But it's like 6 minutes of me kind of talking about the show description and the poster.
Yeah.
And then it ends up, and then 12 seconds later said, nope, it's censored, I'm not watching it, bye. So yeah, what's funny is I get some interesting comments. I guess I should clarify that I don't watch things that are censored. I just don't. I don't feel it's worth my time. If you're going to censor something, I'm not going to bother with it. I'm not assigning blame. I'm sure that Funimation or Crunchyroll or whoever have good reasons for doing what they're doing, and they're welcome to them. I'm just not going to watch the show if they do that. It's not about blame. It's just I don't watch censored material. So anyway, I've got a Star Wars video talking about how we can do better than a Han Solo movie, or at least on advertising new Star Wars movies. Because, hey, Han Solo movie, gotta do better than that. Come on, Star Wars. And yeah, if you're playing Yakuza Kiwami, I've got a video up there called Yakuza Kiwami, How to Stop Foes Regenerating Health, which tells you something very important that the game doesn't tell you, namely that move that stops foes from regenerating health. You have to unlock it in the. It's an upgrade. You have to unlock it in the abilities menu. Game doesn't tell you that, but I will because I'm such a nice guy. And oh, I want some feedback from you, fine folks. I'm considering doing a video where I talk about all the little problems I had with the Wonder Woman movie. I've been because I have a lot of problems with that movie. Overall, I thought it was all right. I enjoyed it, but I didn't. You know, we walked out of the theater, and my sister said, "So, what'd you think?" I said, "I thought it was okay." She says, "Really?" I thought it was great. I went, I started thinking about it. I realized that I had just lots of really small issues, like little things that by themselves are not important and wouldn't even take a tenth off of the score in and of themselves. But I had so many of them throughout the entire film that it kind of downgraded the movie from a solid good to, it's okay. On the other hand, the movie is doing so well and means so much to so many people that I'm kind of hesitant to poop all over it. But on the other hand, I kind of want to talk about all the small, weird little details that just kept pulling me out of the movie. And it's mostly just ignore that. I can't. It's how my brain works. So if you'd be interested in, God, that would probably be a long video too, because I got a lot of problems with that movie. If you'd be interested in seeing something like that, let me know in the comments, because I have to buy the movie. And there's other things I could probably more intelligently spend $25 on than Wonder Woman. But if that's something you'd like to see, let me know in the comments, and if there's enough interest, I'll get a copy of Wonder Woman and work on that video. So Oh, also follow me on Twitter at Andrew Eisen. Zachary, plug away.
All right, you can follow me on Twitter at Easy Night. You can follow my game development work at DK_gaming on Twitter and DivineKnightGaming.com. And if you're interested in the Oklahoma game development scene, check out OK Game Devs on Twitter and OKGameDev.com. And also, check out my Patreon where I'm trying to make a game every month. And if you want to support me, you only get charged when I actually make a game. So, so that's an incentive for me. So
that's right. You support my Patreon, you get charged every month, whether I make something or not.
Yeah. So it's a Easy Night on Patreon, and Andrew is yours is Andrew Eisen.
Yeah. They're
Just
at patreon.com/Andrew Eisen.
Yeah. So So check all that out. So,
all right. Thanks everyone for listening to Molehill Mountain. We will be back at you next week with a new show. So take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.